Hello and welcome back to Bree's Corner, where we go over things and discuss them that I find doom scrolling online. Now, today is a heavy subject. We're talking about recent events with ICE in Minnesota, and recently I just found out about another shooting that happened on New Year's Eve. Um, this goes without saying, and I feel bad for Renee Good's family. I really do. Um, there's no reason why she should not be here with her family right now. But the fact that I'm just now finding out about this other shooting by an off duty ICE agent that happened on New Year's Eve goes to show that it takes a person of the lighter persuasion to get things moving. I can't express how devastated I am in America right now with all the shootings that are going on and the lack of accountability that the ICE agents have at this moment. I'm gonna play a video for you. You tell me how you feel about it in the comment box below. But I can say it's getting bad. It's been bad, but we're only what? Let me see, because I can't even keep up with the days anymore. 9 days into the new year, and we are already semi at war, and people are dying. And let's get into it.
Friday morning, it's about 9 a.m. Day before yesterday, Renee Nicole Good was murdered in the street by an ICE agent. Yesterday, and if there's one thing that we've developed as a skill, as a nation, it's reviewing videos of police shooting and killing people um, because it happens so frequently. Police shoot and kill over 1,000 Americans every year. Yesterday, police shot two more people in Portland. ICE agents shot two more people in Portland, Oregon. And for the first time, I learned this morning, scrolling through TikTok, I saw two TikToks from two black creators on this app that on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles, a black man was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent. 43-year-old Keith Porter, a father of two, was shot and killed by an off-duty, a black man was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. I hadn't heard a peep about that story. And so I'm going to be looking into that over the next couple of days. But, what's clear now, what is crystal clear now, is that if you are in the streets and you are protesting ICE, your life is in danger for protesting. Your life is in danger. I mean, Renee Good, the woman, 37-year-old woman who was shot and killed, an ICE agent put 3 bullets in her head Wednesday morning. She has 3 kids. I think 2 of them are teenagers. The youngest is 6. And this entire executive branch, this entire presidential administration, almost the entirety of right-wing media, immediately labeled this woman as a domestic terrorist. Her kids are still in school, man. I mean, it's like, are they the teenagers? Are they supposed to go to their classes now and have their classmates tell them that their mother is a domestic terrorist, their dead mother who was murdered on Wednesday? Just there are so many things that I want to say. At a minimum, this video would get taken down. In all likelihood, if I said what I wanted to say, I'd be getting a visit from the FBI. A year in, we are 1 year in, and if you protest ICE in the streets, you have a reasonable fear that you could be killed for doing that by ICE, by the federal government. If you protest this government, you now have a reasonable fear that they will kill you for that. And where is the Second Amendment crowd? We need our guns to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot. That was all a lie. Turns out they were all just a bunch of fucking racists who only care about gun rights for white conservative men. Just check out their response to the police killing of Philando Castile several years ago. I think that was also in Minnesota. He was licensed to carry a concealed weapon. He told police he had a license to carry a concealed weapon and that he was carrying a concealed weapon, which he was legally permitted to do, and they shot him and killed him anyway. A young black man. Gun rights are only for white people in the United States, according to the gun rights crowd. Now that we actually have a tyrannical government who is murdering Americans, unarmed Americans, in the streets, the Second Amendment crowd is as quiet as a fucking church mouse because their collective head is shoved all the way up Donald Trump's ample posterior. Bunch of fucking cowards and liars and hypocrites. And ICE has shot 4 people this year. It's January 9th. They killed 2 of them. In 9 days, they've shot 4 people and killed 2 of them. That's one every other day, man. You want to average that out, that's one every other day. You are in reasonable fear for your physical safety and that your life will be taken from you when you encounter an ICE agent. Whether you're protesting or not, Keith Porter was not protesting ICE. It was New Year's Eve, and he encountered an off-duty ICE agent, a black man, and was shot to death. I haven't even been able to figure out if that guy's being charged yet. This has escalated beyond anything I could have imagined. And this is going to get way out of hand. This is going to get way out of hand because just the diversity of this country, the number of people in this country, we have 330 million people in a country that has 430 million guns. Somebody's going to shoot back at these untrained fat fucks. Somebody is going to shoot back. And then more people will start shooting back. And then we're going to be off to the races, and it's going to be horrific. It is going to be horrific. It already is, but it's going to get worse. ICE has shot 8 people in 9 days, and 2 of those people are dead, both of whom have been labeled as domestic terrorists by our own government. From what I understand, there's no video of the killing of Keith Porter. in Los Angeles on New Year's Eve by an off-duty ICE agent. We've all seen the video of Renee Good's murder in Minneapolis the day before yesterday by, I think his name's Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who is also a resident of Minneapolis. It's getting out of hand, and that is exactly what Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem want. They want it to get out of hand. They want dead Americans in the streets. They want the blood of dead Americans flowing in American streets. That is what they want. They have no incentive to avoid that. They have no incentive to prevent that. They want exactly that. Dead Americans bleeding out on American streets. If those dead Americans disagree with this administration, that disagreement to this administration justifies shooting and killing all of us who disagree with them. That's the bottom line. If you disagree with us, we will kill you.
Of course, after hearing the information from Mr. Hawk and how he found the information from Black TikTok, I did go on to Black TikTok and I found a couple of videos. Allegedly, this man was firing a shotgun in the air for New Year's and was approached by an off-duty ICE officer and was gunned down. That's basically all I can say about it. Now, we've seen how they spin the narrative of Renee Good and how they said she was a domestic terrorist and how she was trying to run them over. We've all seen the video. We've all seen it. I'm not going to hook it here. I'm not going to play it here because it's too depressing for me. Like, this whole subject is depressing, but it has to be put out there. This is not, I hate to make this a black and white thing, but the only thing that I can say about this situation is that we knew about Renee Good the day of the shooting. Her shooting brought out this one here with Keith Porter. So I did find a couple of TikToks discussing the situation, and to me, this is just, I was trying to make a video earlier on Europeans asking why Americans aren't doing anything. It's not for lack of wanting to. We want to fix our country. We want to. But if you can't see, we have armed idiots out here just taking people out just because they feel threatened. We have children to raise and mouths to feed. I mean, like, we can only do so much. But anyways, into these videos from Black creators who are filling us in on the situation. And thank you for staying this long. Let's continue with these TikToks. And you tell me how you feel at the end of this video. Like, I'm feeling a little hopeless myself. But let's get into the TikToks.
Community members in Northridge tonight are remembering a man who was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. Authorities say the agent opened fire when that man pointed a rifle at him. Tonight, activists are demanding answers and justice. Friends say Keith Porter was celebrating New Year's Eve when he was shot and killed.
But it looks like he may have been celebrating with a gun. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pullian spoke with friends and family attending a vigil tonight, and they're now looking for answers.
We're here off Amestoy Avenue, close to where Keith Porter was gunned down by that off-duty ICE agent. This memorial is here for family and friends to mourn. This song, meant to uplift, only lowered the mood as this crowd grieves the death of a 43-year-old father of two. Keith Porter. Keith Porter was shot and killed New Year's Eve by an off-duty ICE agent. What would you like to say to the ICE agent if you had the chance?
If I could say anything to the ICE agent, is that you're a murderer. You stole my cousin from me. You stole their father from them. You stole a black man off the planet that God ordained to live and thrive. You stole a human life and you need to pay for it.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, the off-duty ICE agent heard gunfire near his apartment and went to check it out. That's when DHS says the officer encountered Porter holding a long rifle. Advocates say Porter was observing the holiday that night with gunfire.
You don't get to just murder people because you don't like what they're doing or how they're celebrating.
But the agent allegedly ordered Porter to put down the weapon. And when he didn't comply, DHS says the off-duty officer fired his service gun. The agency claims Porter fired 3 rounds at the officer before he was killed.
This is sad. This is sad.
Been here 35 years. This is the first time that such a thing ever happened in my community.
As the LAPD investigates what led up to the shooting, the community want witnesses to come forward and the ICE agent identified, arrested, and prosecuted for killing the man they say was kind.
I thank you for my life.
Black Lives Matter Los Angeles organized this vigil. They are demanding accountability from District Attorney Nathan Hochman. In fact, they are having a community meeting with him on Monday in Northridge. Tim Pulliam, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Community
But now trophy up, I'm saying.
Many of us finding out about the murder of Keith Porter only after the murder of Renee Good, despite the fact that he was murdered a full week before, is exactly why say his name is strictly for the black community. Keith Porter was celebrating New Year's with his family when an off-duty ICE agent took his life. On New Year's. A lot of people are finding out only after the death of Renee Good. And there's been this whole debacle, this whole conversation from, I'm going to go ahead and say it, performative activists, performative allies, people who want to look good, who want to wear the t-shirt, who want to put up the black squares, who want to wear the blue bracelets. But they also want to jump into the same comment sections and argue with black people when black people say, hey, please don't say her name because that's strictly for black people who have had their lives taken by bigotry. And then these same people will pretend that they don't know why when the Keith Porter situation proves why. We were always going to say Renee Good's name. We were always going to remember her. Her name will always be spoken. Her story will always be told. We didn't hear about Keith Porter until after Renee was taken from us. And that's just a small example of how these patterns keep repeating. So if you hear a black person tell you today, hey, please don't use those phrases. Those are strictly for our folks. Do yourself a favor if you don't want your allyship to look like just optics. And listen, adjust, and keep it pushing. Okay, thanks, bye.
It's out on a trend or is similar. Justice for all ICE victims, not just Renee. What happened to Renee was disgusting and unfortunate. Justice for her. But it's even more unfortunate about the fact that this same exact name happened to a black man last week on New Year's Eve, but because he was black, there was no publicity on it. His name was Keith Porter, and he was unalived by, mind you, an off-duty ICE agent. Wasn't on the job, on the clock, anything. Literally off-duty. He was a father of 2. And of course, the justification of his unaliving was, oh yeah, he looks suspicious. We heard shots around the area, and he fit the description. Mind you, it was New Year's Eve. Of course there were. It was fireworks. What were you expecting? The man literally did nothing wrong. And it's disgusting that we're just now finding out about this because of the unaliving of another white woman. People love to pull out the, oh, it's never about race. Stop making it about race. It's always about race. There was literally zero coverage on this man's unaliving. No GoFundMe, nothing. It was essentially hidden from the public. And again, I hate to make topics as unfortunate as these about race, but you can't help but notice that there's all this publicity, all this news, all this attention focused on this white woman that was unfortunately unalived by ICE, while there's zero coverage on this black man that was unalived by ICE in the exact same situation. And this is exactly what we're talking about when we say this race issue is never going to end. And to make matters worse, Renee and Keith are the only 2 people that this happened to. So as tragic as the thing that happened to Renee was, we also need to make sure that all the victims are getting the same amount of coverage so that nobody goes unnoticed. Justice for all ICE victims, not just Renee. What happened?
She was too calm. Apparently, Renee Good wasn't the only one unalived by ICE. This is Keith Porter. He was unalived by an off-duty ICE officer. This situation happened on New Year's Eve in California, by the way. So this is what the articles say. Apparently, Keith had a rifle in his hand that he was planning to shoot up in the air when it struck 12 o'clock, right before New Year's. The off-duty ICE officer basically said he was an active shooter in the situation. The ICE officer came up to him and treated him like an active shooter, and he was trying to explain that he had the rifle in his hand because he was shooting the gun up in the air for New Year's. And apparently the ICE officer took out his weapon and shot Keith. So not only on duty are ICE officers being involved in murders, but off duty as well. So there's not just going to be one casualty in this situation. These things are going to keep happening, until something is done about it. Off-duty ICE officer involved in the situation claimed self-defense and that Keith was the active shooter, so he felt like he had the right to take him out of some sort. His community strongly advises against that and was saying that Keith was just had his rifle in his hand just so he could shoot up in the air at 12 o'clock. Have y'all heard of this story? Because it's the first time I'm hearing about it. Probably another thing they want to cover up because there's no video footage of the situation. It's just accounts from the community and neighbors.
Now, mind you, I do know that he was allegedly holding a shotgun, and shooting firearms in the air is illegal because you don't know who can be hurt in that situation. Allegedly, he was doing this. We have no recording of the situation at hand, but what I can say, and I did look up, it's a quick Google, that ICE agents can't do local policing. ICE agents are federal law enforcement officers with the mission focused on immigration enforcement, not local policing. So in that situation, if that man heard him firing a gun and wanted to correct the situation, he should have called the local police. That's what he should have done. That's what they should have done. They work for the Department of Homeland Security and wear ICE/DHS/ERO insignia when identified, and are distinct from city or county police. They are allowed to make arrests and they are allowed to carry firearms, but their only job is to deal with immigration and customs. So no matter how they spin the situation, I feel like the off-duty ICE agent was about as equivalent to a soldier that doesn't have orders to enact on to protect its community. I, at one point in time, was a soldier, and I could not just take my rifle and see somebody that I didn't like and shoot them down in the street. I just couldn't do that, regardless if I have that weapon issued to me. So I feel like in this situation, the ICE officer had definitely handled this situation completely wrong and should definitely be charged. But the long story short, it is sad that Renee Good is gone. But it's even more sad at the fact that we just found out about Keith Porter after the demise of Renee Good. I do have some information for you. I did find his Give Send Go, his GoFundMe. I will be posting information below. You can check it out because I don't usually deal with Give Send Goes, but he does have daughters that were left, or GoFundMe's. He does have daughters that were left without a father, and if anything we can do, we can help with his children. I will put a link in somewhere around here. I will put a link to that. And yeah, but that is all I have for you today, and I'm praying for America right now. And I hope we can find a way to make things better. Please vote in your primaries. Like, please vote, and please vote the right way. Like, please get us out of this situation. Thank you for coming back. If you like the information that I put out, not saying that you should enjoy it, but if you like the information that I put out and would like to get more, please subscribe to the channel. Sometimes my videos are lighthearted, sometimes they're political, but I will do my best to bring you the best of the best. And that's all I have for you today. Bye.